Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'll share with you 5 advices which I wished my 15-year-old self would have known and applied to his own life back then. And you might think this guy's just 18, what sort of advice he could practically give? Maybe, but I heard this quote somewhere that something that is obvious to you might be amazing for someone else. So I'm just gonna share what wasn't obvious to me 3 years back. Now, this is something that I've always been afraid of, and to be honest, I regret every single one of those lost opportunities. Now I've learned it the better way that I have to take as many rational chances as I can because I've got no money to lose, so there's nothing to fear. I've got no reputation, so no reputation to protect, and no one's watching too closely anyway. And for anyone who's keeping themselves from taking risks, don't, because at this age most risks are pretty simple. Either it worked or it didn't. So if you have a crush on someone, just let them know. If you want to pursue some career, just do it. If you want to convince or ask your parents about something, just go ahead. Things rarely get worse by all this, and if they do, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Another thing I want to add to this one is that if you're certain about something, irrespective of the fact that you tried earlier and you failed terribly, just trust your gut and stick to it. So if you're told the 15-year-old Aakash that he's going to lose connections with almost every one of his friends except 3, he would be like,
"Bro, what you're saying, I got so many good friends, so many good connections."
But now that I look back, now that I look at my circle, I'm glad it got downsized. And it's actually good because you can't keep managing connections with people while focusing on your work. And it's obviously not like I defriended them. I just halted any regular interaction to keep the connection alive. And if any one of you is watching this video, I love you. Now, if someone says that I'm toxic and I'm selfish and that I don't value people and their emotions and stuff, okay, if prioritizing what's important to me is considered selfish, then I'm okay with that. And for anyone who's younger than me, just be okay with it and get along with the process. It's the healthiest. So I can't say anything to atheists, but every time something bad has happened in my life, it has always been followed by something even greater. Not even good, but great. In those times, I used to think that my life's just fallen apart, that it's ended. But later down the line, whenever I used to look back, it always turned out to be helpful to me. For example, last year I was like,
what the hell is going on in my life? Like tragedy after tragedy.
But now that I look back at it, it was all important for my personal growth. Plus, I love this quote by Charlie Chaplin that said, "Life's a tragedy in close-up and a comedy in long shot." And I do live by it now because when things go wrong, I remind myself that it's all part of God's plan or my karma, and that one day it will all make sense. So there's no point of worrying about it. So when life gets overwhelmed, try to zoom out a little and trust that even the toughest times are shaping you for something better. This might seem obvious, but when we're working on something, we often expect instant results. I still catch myself doing this, like when I upload a YouTube video and think that this one's gonna blow up, but then it gets 100 views. It's disappointing, sure, but then I remind myself of the power of persistence and the compounding effect it brings over time. I wasn't fully committed to this idea until I heard Ed Sheeran say something that stuck with me.
Complete this sentence. Success requires...
persistence. You don't have to have the best talent in the world. You just have to work hard and keep going for it.
It's just all about showing up consistently even when it feels like no one's watching, because over time your efforts will pay off. There will always be moments when life throws you off, like getting a bad grade or fighting with someone or just feeling overwhelmed. and it's natural to feel sad. But a few months ago, I realized something, that being happy costs nothing, but staying sad comes with a huge opportunity cost, i.e., the loss of small moments of joy and happiness. Now, you might wonder, how can I force myself to be happy when everything feels wrong? So, here's what I learned from a podcast. When you smile, your brain releases endorphins, those chemicals that relieve pain and boost happiness. But here's the kicker, it works in reverse too. Simply curling your lips into a smile, especially one that reaches your Duchenne's mark, the wrinkles at the corner of your eyes, can trick your brain into releasing those same feel-good chemicals. And you know what? Few months back, a good friend of mine told me, just be happy. And at first, it felt like just words, like, okay, but with time, it became something that I live by. So now, whenever I'm overwhelmed or sad, I just remind myself of those words, and that happiness is a choice, and even the smallest effort to smile can make a really big difference. Alright, so this video was a little different from my usual ones, but I really enjoyed making it. And for all the stuff I just said, I'm still learning and I still make mistakes. I make loads of mistakes, but I don't regret any of them because that's what made me my current self. I might look back at this video 10 years from now and debate against any or all of these points, but that's totally fine. And in case you enjoyed this video too, hit that like button, consider subscribing if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.